And good evening. Welcome to the Mayor and City Council meeting for the month of August 22. We will begin with our pledge to the flag. I'll ask Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Let the records reflect that all council members are present and accounted for this evening. We'll begin this meeting with our approval of the minutes of the July 6th and July 11th regular meetings as amended from Wednesday evening. Any motion to approve those?
So moved.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on the minutes as amended? All right, on the motion to approve from Councilwoman Foster and the second from Councilman Haines, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. We'll step right into council. Do you have any conflicts of interest regarding agenda items this evening?
No, sir.
All right. Up for introduction this evening, we'll begin with Ordinance 06-2022. This is Budget Amendment Number 3 for FY 21-22. May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Motion to introduce.
And second, please. Very good. Any discussion, questions, or anything? All right, hearing none on the motion to introduce from Councilman Haines and the second from Councilwoman Fuller. All in favor of introduction signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. All right, we're going to go right into Ordinance 07-22. This is Budget Amendment Number 1 for FY 22-23. May I have a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce.
And a second, please.
Second.
All right. Any questions, discussion, debate? All right, if everyone is satisfied, on the motion to introduce from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from Councilman Hand, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. All right, so both of those ordinances will be up then for adoption next month, so be prepared to see those in your packet again. Up for adoption this evening, though, we have Resolution 2022-11. This is our monthly water allocation for the month of August. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve? Second.
Very good. Any discussion on the motion? Okay. On the motion to approve the monthly water allocation for August from Councilman Fuller with a second from Councilwoman Foster. Do I have that backwards?
No, that's right.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. All right. Very good. We're going to step into our city manager report. Mr. Virtual Weeprecht, excuse me. Do you have anything to add to your report this evening?
Nothing to add here, but when we get down to new business with the police vehicle and the generator, I do have some tidbits to add from the workshop.
All right. Very good. Any questions for the city manager on his report or the departmental reports? Okay. We'll circle back to you a little bit later. Legal report. Mr. Gullo, do you have anything to add for your legal report this evening?
Good evening, everybody. I don't have anything to add. I can answer any questions you may have.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Gullo this evening? All right. You are good. Just going to move right into our new business then. First up, we have our monthly financial report, and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the monthly financial report.
May I have a second to that?
Second.
Any discussion, questions, concerns? On the motion to approve the monthly financial report from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from Councilwoman Foster, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. And likewise, I'll entertain a motion for the accounts payables.
Motion to approve.
Second. You're going too slow.
I write slow, but it's legible. All right, any discussion on the accounts payables this evening? All right. Hearing none, on the motion to approve from Councilman Haines with the speedy second from Councilwoman Fuller, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed may say nay. All right, next up, we have police vehicle donation. As discussed on Wednesday evening, the request from Harney Fire Department was to sell them a police vehicle. We have opted to offer a donation to them in the same way we did for the Taneytown Fire Department. Mr. Weeprick, what do you have for us on this topic?
Just wanted to point out that the vehicle that's going to be donated is a 2011 Ford Explorer. Just thought that should be known what we're giving away. And some questions did come up at the workshop regarding the age of the vehicles as we normally rotate them out. So just for your information, for police vehicles, generally it's every 7 years. The one that we're giving to the Harney Fire Company was kept as a spare vehicle. So that one is a little older, but we're going to rotate it out even as the spare at this point. The question also came up about public works vehicles, and generally they are surplused or rotated out at 5 to 7 years, but that's a little more mileage dependent also. So we may part with a vehicle when it's only 5 years old if the mileage is higher. But just to illustrate that a little bit, the next truck that we're getting in is replacing a 2011 model. So just wanted to follow up on those couple questions from Wednesday night.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, good information. Let's start with a motion so we can have some discussion.
Motion to approve the 2011 Ford Explorer vehicle donation to Harney Volunteer Fire Company.
May I have a second to that motion? All right, any discussion on that?
I'm glad that we're able to help our fire companies out this way.
I agree.
Absolutely. Harney is a very dependable fire department. I mean, when we get stretched thin, they're the first ones to step up, and it's spectacular. All right, any further discussion on that? All right, on the motion to approve the police vehicle donation from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from, is it Councilwoman Fuller? Yes. Yes, thank you. My mind is blanking this evening. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. All right. Let some decaf coffee wake me up. All right, up next, we have our award of bid for Bollinger Park. If you recall from Wednesday evening, this is a two-part bid, both encompassing Phase 1 of Bollinger Park. First, the infrastructure. The recommendation from staff is to award the infrastructure bid to Hobbs Excavating in the amount of $545,808.75. And then the porous pathway portion be awarded also to Hobbs Excavating in the amount of $297,483. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the bid in both parts.
Thank you. May I have a second to that?
Second.
Okay, and any discussion? I know a large portion of this is being covered by a grant.
Yes.
Do we know what that amount is?
If I remember correctly, it was in the ballpark of 380,000 or 318. I know it was 300,000 plus.
Okay, somewhere in that range, perfect. Okay. And I think we're getting down to the wire on using that grant, so we need to get this moving. Now, I believe, and I'm gonna go to the city manager. Can you clarify where this project stands with the planning commission at this point?
The Planning Commission did grant conditional approval. We are still awaiting a couple approval letters from county review agencies. So the Planning Commission has voted, but until we get those approval letters, the approval is not official.
Okay, so it does not need to go back to them, assuming that the letters are in the positive, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, very good. Kind of keeps us on track to get this thing moving. All right. Any further discussion?
I do have a question unrelated to the bid specifically, but about Bollinger Park.
Okay.
Judy, if you know, to what extent, or I guess I should ask, what role is the Astronomical Society that's doing the observatory playing in these development phases?
Phase 4.
That's gonna be, yeah.
That's way down the
further
road? Okay,
It's
gotcha.
still in the works.
Okay.
And that's it, as quickly as we can get the other phases done, then
Okay.
we can get them out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, any further discussion? All right, on the motion to award the bid of Bollinger Park Phase 1 to Hobbs Excavating in both parts from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from Councilman Haines. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Next up, we have award of the bid for the well number 8 generator project, and we'll go to the city manager. What do you have for us?
Sure, just a couple questions that had come up at the workshop, got answers for those. So according to the RFP, the work is supposed to be done by January 31st. The work does include the pouring of a cement pad at the site for the generator to sit on. So we are expecting about a week's worth of work once that commences. Some of the bidders indicated a likely delay in sourcing the generator to the possibility of 6 to 8 month delay. So we will see once the order is placed for the generator. Hopefully it will not be that long, but some of the bidders did indicate there might be a problem sourcing it. But a week's worth of work once they're on site.
Okay.
And Jim, I assume that the delay in getting that would just be due to supply chain issues?
Yes, correct.
In theory.
Thank you.
Okay, with that information, may I have, let's start from the beginning. The recommendation from staff is to award this to Fern Rodkey Electric at a total cost of $50,934. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to approve based on the staff recommendation for Fern Rodkey at $50,934.
Lovely. May I have a second to that motion?
Second. Everybody except Dan this time.
Everyone out in the parking lot to fight that out. All right. Any further discussion?
Yeah, who got the second?
Councilman Hand got the second. Any pertinent discussion? All right, hearing none. On the motion to award the bid for the Well 8 generator project to Fern Rodkey in the amount of $50,934 from Councilwoman Fuller. The second was awarded to Councilman Hand. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Next, we have approval of a special event permit. This is the Alyssa Richards Memorial Car Show, slated to take place on October 15th at Memorial Park with a rain date of October 16th, it appears. There's been no issues from other departments regarding this, so it is up for your approval at this time. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
May I have a second, please?
Second. Judy can have it.
All right, any discussion, questions, comments? All right, hearing none on the motion from Councilwoman Foster with a second from Councilwoman Fuller to approve the special event permit for the Alyssa Richards Memorial Car Show. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Very good. Next, we have ratification of the Meadowbrook Bond Surety. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ratification of the Meadowbrook bond security.
Very good. A second, please?
Surety. Second. That was a quick second.
It's getting a little contentious up here with these seconds. You gotta get in there quick. It's like dinner time with a large family. You gotta grab what you... All right, back to the topic at hand. Any discussion, questions? Anything from staff since Wednesday we need to know?
Nothing to add.
I just do that to make sure Jim still has a computer. All right, with no further discussion, on the motion to approve the Meadowbrook bond surety ratification from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from Councilman Hand, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. Since Wednesday, I spoke with Daryl Hale, our planning director. I had asked him to reach out to this gentleman, Mr. Brandon Reddy, who had expressed an interest to serve on the Board of Appeals. I asked Mr. Hale if he'll get in touch with him, kind of do an interview, get to know him, see what he's like. I heard very good things about him. Mr. Hale thinks he'll be a great addition to fill the vacancy in there, so I'd like to put him up for nomination this evening.
What was the gentleman's name again?
Brandon Reddy, R-E-D-H-I. He was actually here Wednesday evening. He sat in the back.
So Mr. Hale approves, and you are satisfied with the recommendation, Mr. Mayor?
I am, sir. So I'd like to put him up for that nomination.
Well, in that case, I will make a motion to appoint Brandon Reddy to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Very good. May I have a second to that?
Second.
Any questions, discussions, anything? I believe this will fill the Board of Appeals. We still have openings on Board of Elections and the Ethics Board. I believe that might be it. Does that sound right?
Ethics has 2 vacancies.
Ethics has 2 vacancies. Board of Elections, I think, might have 2 vacancies as well. But this will fill out Board of Appeals, correct? Very good. The city did share on social media the fact that we're looking for volunteers. If you know anyone who might be interested, please let them know, have them contact us. I'd like to get these things filled up. It's been hard. We've had a few people drop off boards recently, and it's just...
It's a commitment.
It is a commitment for sure. But overall, we're doing okay. We still have a quorum on the boards. Just makes it a little harder for Clara to schedule things to make sure they're all going to be there. On the motion to appoint Mr. Reddy to the Board of Appeals from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti with a second from Councilman Haines, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Very good. We'll get that straightened out. And we'll step into our council member reports. This evening, I'm going to begin with Councilman Hand. What do you have for us this evening, sir?
Last time around, we were presented with a concept for development of 50 units, and it would be next door to Venue Bouchon, east of, so roughly in between that venue and across the street, Flowserve. Merely a concept for working way down the road. Also, 2 items to discuss in terms of language were brought to us. We don't have anything on the books regarding parameters, guidelines for solar panels that are not rooftop mounted. So there was some interest in the business district to have solar panels ground mounted. So we don't have anything in terms of setbacks. So our homework is to take a look. We're presented with what the county, Carroll County has. We'll be taking a look at some of our neighbors and pondering language so that Taneytown will be prepared for being approached for ground mounted. Also looking at language for urban mixed. zoning and planning. So majority of it was setting the stage for language in the future for how to address various items. That's it.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Fuller, what do you have for us this evening?
Okay, so the last family movie night this past Saturday went well. The next one is this Saturday. It's going to be in Canto, is that how you say that?
Encanto, yes.
At 8:45 p.m. And then the following Saturday, August 20th, is going to be The Wizard of Oz at the same time. Pavilion 1 at Memorial Park has new concrete floors. They've been installed, and they're putting new concrete pads at all of the pavilions for the trash cans and future recycle bins. They'll be coming in soon. We have a Reading in the Parks contest. You can take a picture of yourself reading in any of our parks, submit it to the Parks and Rec Facebook page for a chance to win a goodie bag, which has things like toys, books, Dunkin' gift cards, No Anchovies gift card, and Thunderhead Bowling gift card. So get those pictures in onto the Facebook page. And then our next meeting is going to be this Wednesday, August 10th at 6:30 p.m. I think that's everything.
All right, thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, what do you have for us this evening?
I have the monthly departmental report for the Taneytown Police Department for the month of July 2022. With respect to in-service training and continuing education units, all patrol officers included domestic violence lethality assessment courses, sexual harassment in the workplace, and workplace bullying. With respect to specialized training, Patrolman First Class Myers included a course in field training officer certification. With respect to the statistics for the monthly report, the total number of dispatched or generated calls for service for July were 335. The total number of citations issued were 45. The total number of warnings issued were 30. The total number of adult arrests were 15. The total number of juvenile arrests were 4. In the awards and promotions category, Sergeant Jesse Castelar was promoted to the rank of lieutenant on July 1st. Congratulations to Lieutenant Castelar for all of his dedication and commitment to the Taneytown Police Department and the citizens of Taneytown. And it is wonderful that we are able to promote somebody who is that dedicated to the city and to the force from within. With respect to community outreach, the department provided security and traffic control for the annual 4th of July fireworks that were held in Memorial Park. And Senior Patrol Officer Sackadalis represented the department at a pottery and arts event held at Firehouse Pottery. Of special note this evening, I just want to say thank you to Clara. This evening, as many of you probably are aware, there's been an internet outage across part of town. And as I was about to print out the monthly departmental report for the police department, my internet went down, and Clara saved me by printing this out. And, it bears saying that, she helps us and the city in 1,000 different unseen ways, and that includes making sure all of us have the materials and documents necessary to conduct our meetings. And so, Clara, thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only for this, but for everything that you do for us. And that's it for me this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Foster, what do you have for us this evening?
I have nothing to report from Public Works. Everything is going well. From Habitat for Humanity, USDA has received the applications of the 2 families that will be occupying the 2 homes. So that's a plus. We expect closing on those 2 families to be maybe around midwinter. Okay. Things are kind of moving slow. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the build will begin. I don't expect it will begin in the winter, but we'll see. Silver Oak Academy, I have nothing to report. That meeting will be coming up on Wednesday. That's it.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilman Haines, what do you have for us this evening?
All right, so Mish is working with the Carroll County Workforce Development Office, that's formerly Burke, changed their name, on setting up an apprentice for one of our local businesses. The Main Street Board is still in its inception, but we've received a couple promising applications, and more info on that will be forthcoming. I do want to shout out Public Works for revamping the parking lines on Main Street, giving those solid white hashes much more clear and visible, so that was good. Mish had a productive meeting with the Chamber last week about the future of Main Street and the Main Street Board. Also, the Chamber hosted a town hall with Senator Cardin's office, and Economic Development has been in continued touch with the Senator's office to discuss grants and funding as well. Unrelated to economic development, I do want to just take a second to make a statement about the comments that I made Wednesday night in reference to the zoning conversation. I gave some people cause for concern, and I want to clarify that all the ideas that I mentioned Wednesday were just solely for the sake of discussion. I should have been more clear in what I meant specifically in reference to things like time limits, which was intended to be in reference to grandfathered property uses and not specifically a time limit on people living in their homes. In no way would I ever want to advocate for kicking people out of their homes or reducing their property value. And after doing some homework with the issue, I largely agree with the mayor's suggestions on the topic. Additionally, I think that the best way to tackle the issue, if the city were to do so, would be either give greater flexibility to what's permitted in the zone, either rezone it as residential while granting exemptions to the existing businesses there, or just leave it as it is. So I apologize for giving anyone cause for concern. Certainly was not my intention, and I'm very remorseful over creating any sort of anxiety for the families who stood to be affected by the discussion. So that is all from me, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Very good. I appreciate that. There are times where we'll get into discussions up here and we'll throw different ideas around, some of them tame, some of them pretty wild. It doesn't mean any of them are taken necessarily seriously or even in context are plausible, but I appreciate your message. And it's good that people hear kind of the true intent, because sometimes it doesn't come out the first time around. For my report, I do want to begin. We do have the business breakfast this Friday morning at the bowling alley. Please come out for that. It's a great opportunity to meet some people and network. This past, 2 Sundays ago, I was very honored to attend Grace United Church of Christ, where I presented a proclamation on the retirement of Ferry Flickinger. She has been their organist for 48 and a half years.
Wow.
And as of July 31st, she retired. Says she still plans on attending the church and just from the pews instead of from the organ. But it was a very nice service. Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti joined me there.
And she'll be the substitute organist.
And she'll be the substitute organist as well. Very nice morning. Some of her family was able to join for that celebration. So congrats to her. She has served this community very well. She and her late husband, the former Mayor Bob Flickinger. We also had National Night Out. I believe was a success again this year. A good crowd of people, dunking police officers in a dunk tank, different businesses, the dance studio, the bowling alley, the Lions Club helped serve hot dogs and chips to people. I know a lot of that was donated by Kenny's Market. So kudos to all the police. It was put together very well. I believe Corporal Schaefer, you spearheaded it this year, is that correct? You and Haley, very good. It was well done. It was well planned, well executed. The word got out to the community that it was going on, and there was great things for people to do. So thank you for that. Just another thing that our police do, in addition to protecting and serving, they put on some great national night outs for us. So thank you to them. Still in the police department, we have 2 new officers, I believe, starting next week. And then hopefully a third a few weeks after that, if I'm not mistaken. So we're kind of rebounding after some retirement and some officers moved to different opportunities. So exciting things there as well. And I believe the chief is very excited about these 2 starting next week. He said some very good things. Major Mitchell has been very busy doing this hiring process, following up, background checks, make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing to get hired by our city. So it's a meticulous process. I think generally police hiring takes 6 months, best case scenario. So it's a chore to do it, but it's important. And with that, that's all I have for my report this evening. So with nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
May I have a second? You can be as quick as you want with your second, but you're still going to wait till I write it down. All right, all in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Have a great night.